I am the father of the red pill.
You call yourself the godfather of the red pill.
I call myself the godfather of the manosphere, okay? Other people have called me that.
Okay, great. That's very...
Do you understand?
But they don't realize where it came from. And the reason for that is because I don't sell prescriptions.
Show of hands if you're single. Okay.
Whoa, who would have thought that the entire audience of a male podcast is single? You know what's funny? I went to a Weight Watchers once. I said, how many people in here are overweight? And they all raised their hands. I was shocked.
I have my own spies that tell me stuff too.
Oh, it's like Among Us.
I don't think you have. That email was actually sent by me.
That's crazy. If she actually sent this email, that's like a next level high IQ play. All right, guys. Brittany Venti, most known for being the girlfriend of Think Before You Sleep. I don't know if that's true. Well, I know that they're dating. I don't know if that's what she's most known for. Anyway, made a two-part thing on Manosphere, and they call the leader, the cult leader of the Manosphere, which is I don't know,
Lawrence
very old Rob Dyrdek or something.
Emails with.
I've seen him, Rollo. He's kind of a clown. It's a little funny. I'm curious about them. Let's watch them. Let's watch the first one. Which is the cult leader, the Red Pill.
They're Lila Rose, Erudite. Yeah, Erudite's another one. Brittany Venti. Oh man, I got some things to say about Brittany. They are all gynocentrists who only care for what's best for women. Of course they are. They're all feminists. Every one of those girls that you mentioned are feminists.
I mean, outside of Brittany Venti's Manosphere content, I vehemently disagree with her stuff. I mean, she made a video about like some woke intellectual person. I did a reaction to it. I just thought it was a bad video. Like, it was this one. Fake intellectuals, YouTubers. I'll put it in my description, but I was just like, oh, this is bad. Like, it was just not, I don't think it's that. I think that the Manosphere is so universally garbage that it's easy to just be like, wow, these guys are terrible. I think that's really what it is.
Being called a feminist by the Red Pill Manosphere sect of the internet, like Rollo Tomassi, is like being called a racist on Twitter. The word has really lost its power. But according to Rollo Tomassi, or should I say George, not only am I a feminist.
Wait, his name is George and he named himself Rollo? Damn, that's like, I feel like that's right next to Keith, you know?
Yes, but also a Christian.
They are conservatives, and we're good Orthodox Catholics, and we're good Bible worship, Bible reading Christians, and we go to Bible study.
I'm not a Christian, but it goes to show how much research he does on the people he so confidently.
You think I was trying to sing well? I was singing that one guy who like covers songs. What are you talking about?
Speaks on.
Indian
Rollo
guy.
or George confidently accusing people of labels really confirms that everyone I don't like is a feminist is the new everyone I don't like is a racist. It's not meant to be taken seriously, and especially not from a discount Tom Likas.
Do you think
Who the hell is Tom Likas?
that marriage is any good for women either? Statistics show that when the divorce happens, it's not particularly good for them.
Women have a lot more to gain from divorce. 90% of the custody goes to women, child custody. If you want to be with your kids, guess who's getting the kid? Not guys, not you.
Typically, but I also think women tend to want their kids more than men. But.
Bottom line. And then guys are going to be paying that child support. And what is alimony? And why? Or now they changed the name of it to spousal support. Why are we paying that? What for?
Well, because like if you're in a relationship for like 20 years and you get divorced, you've put your life on hold for that person to grow with them. Like, it makes sense, regardless of who makes more money, that person should pay alimony, depending on how long you've been in a relationship, marriage for.
What? There's no real accountability, particularly when it's like no fault divorce. And of course,
I think men statistically do better, like financially after divorce too, but
it's always in the woman's favor, especially if she has kids, there's child support, there's alimony.
But you don't have to take my word for it, because George himself lists Tom Likas as his inspiration for his ideology on women and dating.
Really, back in 2001, I started listening to a terrestrial radio show host.
That's this guy? Wow. That's him? Wow. I've seen this guy before. I saw him at Disney. We went on the Haunted Mansion ride. He was part of it. Oh my God.
And Tom Likas, who I really liked at the time.
I really liked Tom Likas.
And George's inspiration, Tom Likas, self-describes as a feminist because it helps them get laid without having to commit.
This is why I never buy dinner for women, help pay their bills, or help them raise their bastard children with other guys. Women are equal. They don't need our help, right, guys? Okay.
Or have children.
Incredible.
I'm a hardcore feminist. This is why I never buy dinner for women. Help pay their bills or help raise their children from other guys.
Based
women
alert.
are equal. Looking forward to the next gal who will be paying for dinner. I love equality. God, he's such a dusty. It's kind of ironic though, isn't it? George has cultivated an internet following on the part of the internet where he is self-proclaimed to be the father of. This internet ghetto is referred to as the red.
It's not even just self-claimed. Even fresh and fit feed that delusion. It's crazy.
Manosphere.
I am not red pill adjacent. I am in the red pill. I am the father of the red pill.
You call yourself the godfather of the red pill.
I call myself the godfather of the manosphere, okay? Other people have called me that.
Okay, great. That's very,
Do you understand?
Okay.
George saves men from
Damn, very emotional man we're dealing with here.
those evil women and is literally saving their lives.
Same.
And so when we see that happen and we see guys are like, yeah, oh man, women are really fucked up. And when we look at that, that's sensational. What we don't look at is the success stories where guys go, you know what? I was going to kill myself. And now I decided not to because now I have accurate information because I'm red pill aware right now.
The red pill manosphere
Okay, whatever works for you.
is infamous for their bad takes on women in dating, such as modern life dating or MLD's take on how you should endure physical harm from your spouse.
Endure.
If there's someone that's very, very young and goes into a marriage and has kids when they're like 18, 19, 20, a year into the relationship, it gets really, really abusive. If it would happen, what would you recommend for those people? Would
Endure.
they divorce, or do you want them to keep going in the relationship?
Keep going. You can't divorce.
Keep going. And you know, it's so funny though that this is an interesting conversation that we're having here. And like, because I want you to think about it like this. We have a scenario where there's two people. It doesn't matter the gender at all, actually. Two people. One is an abuser, one is being abused. Okay, when you're asked the question, should the person being abused have to stay with the abuser? What side do you typically take? You look at it like, wow, if I was being abused, like I wouldn't want to be forced to be with somebody. Of course. They're looking at it from the abuser's perspective. They're just like, no, you should stay. He's probably a nice guy. He probably takes you out to Cheesecake Factory every once in a while. Yeah, he has violent outbursts where you're afraid for your life, but you know, that's kind of where it's at. It's like, oh, that's your empathetic level, you know. You know, and I understand as a man being angry. You know, I've been angry and I've yelled and I've broken stuff where I'm not proud of it. You know, but I can also understand, especially getting older, like, wow, that's probably like, I know I'm never gonna hurt somebody, but like I can see why somebody would think that, and that's like, oh man, I didn't realize you're having that impact. You know. So it's just like, what the hell are you talking about, guys?
That's not a real thing.
Even though it might be like physically abusive.
You got to endure.
Okay.
Endure.
Of course, this is somebody that George is friends with.
But I know that they've been trying to, like, they've been coming for everybody recently. They've been going after MLD is easy. He's too easy. Like, I love John, but he's easy to get.
Not only is George a Tom like his wannabe,
sex-wise,
but even in the said red pill community he claims to have cultivated, he's known as a wannabe cool kid.
What do you think the beef that Rollo has with Tate?
Earlier on, before Tate was huge, Rollo and Tate were doing some podcasts together. Yeah. And once Tate didn't rock up, he's a busy guy, Rollo was so upset and so emotional. What I saw in Rollo was the geeky kid who was allowed to hang out with the cool kids, but then the cool kids snubbed him. Rollo was so upset. That's what you see right there. You see a geeky
You're not
kid.
even cool enough to hang out with a sex trafficker? That says something about you, bro. Holy fuck. I guess you respected women too much. Ha nerd. You respected them too much to not sex traffic them. You fucking loser. Ha holy moly. That's crazy.
Who's cool now, but of course Tate's cooler. All these people who are looking at him as the godfather of Red Pill.
That's not Frieza's brother,
role model. Someone who's acting in a feminine frame, who's basically a geeky nobody who's written a book and talks a lot. That's an individual without any sort of stoicism, without any masculine values.
George will take every opportunity.
That's not stoicism. That's just emotional regulation. Someone not wanting to come on your podcast. You don't have a meltdown about it.
He can to humble brag, usually by name dropping or saying that other people are name dropping him.
Adam's known who I am for a long time. People have dropped my name on the show several times. I know that Ethan Klein knows who I am, clearly.
Oh, Ethan Klein.
I know,
yeah, me too. Like, people know who I am. I'm a big, fat, irrelevant fuck. At least I know it. So is this guy, except instead of fat, he's withering. I don't know.
A lot of people who, like, the guys in the guys on Flagrant 2, they know my name as well.
Whoa! You know, I have a very common name. Maybe that's why they know it.
Validating him, and it shows.
I think what's interesting is, like, whenever I get interviewed, people try to pretend like they know what they're talking about me, and they'll go, "You're the author of The Rational Male, right?"
No!
All 5 books. At least do me the courtesy and say, you know what? We know that you have 5 books.
Don't you know I created the red pill? How do you not know who I am?
I've been doing this for 20 freaking years.
Yeah, I also created Tylenol. Right? Pretty good. Pretty good pill. Not that bad.
But people don't, you know, they'll quote me or they'll use terminology that they've heard from my book or something I said at some point that somebody else, you know, third party might have said.
Same.
But they don't realize where it came from. And the reason for that is because I don't sell prescriptions. If I was like Tony Robbins and said, "Hey guys, let's all, you know, feel better about ourselves and put ourselves,"
bro, the wag killed me
first. That sells tickets to, you know, sell out arenas.
My God.
Why do you not know who I am? I should be famous. I'm the OG. Me.
That's how.
Isn't that the saddest part, though, as a person? Is when you've had the exposure and you just still can't do anything with it. Shut up. Tylenol isn't pink. I'm colorblind. That's the saddest part of life, man. But we must endure.
Out of my fourth book, which nobody seems to want to read.
Well, why are people buying my books even though I leave it under the reply of every tweet? Wah! He's really upset about not being popular like those other red pill guys who do sensationalist stuff, unlike him. He wants to be famous for creating a community that uses woke feminist tactics like censorship. For example, Fresh and Fit copy striking ABBA and Preach, or Just Pearly Things copy striking Sarah Garvey.
I will say ABBA and Preach just copyright struck Pearl, so but my understanding was that they did it because Pearl's video, like 90% of her video, was just their video, right? So you know what I mean? Like they didn't exactly transform it, or whatever.
How George says that he will nuke your platform if you invite someone on that he personally does not like.
You spring somebody on me, expect me to say words on your show.
Whoa, words
that will get you banned from YouTube. I'll tell you that right now.
Why? Why would that? Wouldn't they ban you? They'd be like, oh, this guy said these words. I'm going to ban him instead. What the fuck?
Expect me to say that. Expect me to start talking about the Germans.
Instead of having an absolute melty, why don't you just leave? George is like 50 years old, threatening to have a melty. He's essentially threatening to take your income away and go off the rails because you made him look bad. Personally, I would think twice before having him on a show and risking my livelihood.
If you say something I don't like, I will say the N-word. I will say it on your stream. And somehow that will be worse for you than me. I don't understand. What's the logic there? To me, it's like, oh, I know I'm like irrelevant. Like, it sounds like you know that you're so irrelevant that even you said slurs, you wouldn't cancel you. Like,
Internet Ghetto is also renowned for expressing their disdain for the other gender and not being wanted by them. It's kind of like when woke feminists say that if you don't date them, you're XYZ phobic, even if you personally just find them unattractive. Or in the Red Pill Manosphere's case, it's women having too high standards.
I am XYZ phobic as long as what you're talking about are genders. Dude, don't kill me, please. I have a wife and kid. I don't have a kid. I hope so.
And not wanting to endure their personalities.
Endure.
Oh, you wouldn't want to be with someone like that? I'm shocked. The Manosphere gives young boys and men dating advice, sometimes under the guise of self-improvement, and usually it's something about how to attract women.
Show of hands if you're single. Okay.
Whoa! Who would have thought that the entire audience of a male podcast is single? What a shocker! What a shocker! That everybody in the men's podcast audience is single. You know what's funny? I went to a Weight Watchers once and I said, how many people in here are overweight? And they all raised their hands. I was shocked. I was flabbergasted. I was like, whoa. Oh my goodness. How are all of you? That many? What?
Now, show of hands if you want to do the Myron approach and have multiple wives. Okay. Now,
motherfuckers who can't get one girl.
I wonder why they would want to do that. I wonder why they're single, wanting to have a bunch of women.
I want to have multiple.
The absolute degeneracy and high standards that they claim to hate about feminism is absolutely rampant in these parts. And worst of all, the Red Pill Manosphere has co-opted my favorite movie, The Matrix.
Oh, My Hero Academia.
Which is why criticizing them is met with their response of, everyone I don't like is part of The Matrix. Even if you're very vocal on opposing woke ideology, they don't really care. It's very much a us versus them mentality. You're either with them or you're against
Among
them.
Us.
That's the problem. You want to fight against the Matrix? Don't look at this guy. Look at the Hollywood moguls who are telling you that Margot Robbie should be Barbie.
In this video, George.
What? I mean, she should be. No, I'm confused. I'm a little confused what you're saying. She's a pretty good Barbie. Pretty good Barbie. I like the fat one the most.
Talks about Margot Robbie being casted as Barbie and how she is too old to play Barbie. And how her being 32 years old in the film as opposed to 25 is
she's too old to play Barbie. What the fuck? That's just a weird take. Why? What a weird baby thing to say. What? Was she's too old to play Barbie? What? Okay, sure.
Literally the same thing as race swapping a character.
If you had a problem with miscasting of, let's see, a black woman as Marie Antoinette, I'm trying to think of some other, like, where we're doing like sort of like either gender swaps or we're doing like racial swaps. If you have a problem with that, you should have a problem with Margot Robbie as well.
And if you don't view her being 32 as opposed to 25 as literally being the same as a race swap, well, then you're kicked out of the club.
Because I got all these guys who were formerly red pill, now suddenly they're playing sneaky fucker game. The same game that they criticize other male feminists. You're basically a male feminist right now, guys. How dare you? You're a disgrace to the manosphere. You're a disgrace to the, give me the...
What's up with this like weird gatekeeping? Like, you have to think that for this 32-year-old woman that's pretty hot is ugly. It's like, that's a hot take. That's, frankly, no offense, that's gay as fuck. I don't know what to tell you. Or maybe, it's just weird. Okay.
Badge. Turn in your man card. Turn in your man card.
The redheaded libertarian ran a poll on if 25-year-old Margot Robbie is hotter or 33-year-old
I mean, based on that picture, I'm just going with 33-year-old Margot Robbie. But, you know, I'm getting older now, and it's becoming less appropriate for me to be attracted to younger girls. And I just, like, it feels weird. Like, when I see a girl, I don't even know, bro. If I see a girl that's like, are you kidding me? Get away from me, you fucking pig. If I see a girl, I go, ew, gay. No, I get like nervous. I don't, not nervous. I just go like, ugh, kind of gross. It's like I'll see a girl. I'm thinking 25 is my minimum now. If I see a girl, I know she's like 22. I'm just like, that's not good. You know what I mean? I might be attracted to the body, and then I think they're 22, and I'm like, unattractive. It's like a mental thing. It's just weird. You know what I mean? It just becomes bizarre.
Margot Robbie is hotter. So I did an identical...
I'm like EDP, but in reverse.
poll, except for one thing. I switched the photos, and it turns out that
has anybody? Oh, I guess the 20. I guess I'm more attracted to the 25-year-old then.
People can't tell the difference.
Oh, okay. She does look older in the right picture. I'll say that. What the hell was I gonna say? Oh, you guys ever think about it? If you rearrange the EDP, it's PED, PED. That guy's always been telling us he's a pedophile. We never even believed him before. Whose fault is it really?
Out of over 4,000 votes, 67.5% of voters voted for 25-year-old Margot Robbie, which was actually 33-year-old Margot Robbie. Redheaded Libertarians poll, which had 11,000 votes, had almost identical results to my poll, where 66.9% of voters voted that 33-year-old Margot Robbie was hotter. In both instances, they voted 33-year-old Margot Robbie as more attractive.
I feel like it's weird if you find a girl more attractive just because she's like that much like younger, I guess. I mean, I guess you could argue if you're close to your age. That makes sense. I don't know. As an older man, though, that's a little weird.
I guess they're all feminists too, right? This whole situation reminds me of that one subreddit where people post photos of themselves to be rated on how attractive they are, and when beautiful women are posted, the Redditors have to humble them. You could be a fallen angel and they'll be like 4 out of 10. And the moderators of this subreddit will literally ban people for giving
Isn't that just same as body positivity? Don't they do the same thing? They're like, oh, look, this woman's ugly. Blah, blah, blah. They don't do shit like that. Dude, you're not allowed to kill me. Are you kidding me right now? Oh, my tits are exploding. Come. Fuck.
High of a rating. You gave an attractive girl a 7 out of 10? You better watch your step, bud. They're trying to humble these women because by doing that, they personally don't have to self-improve to get to the woman's level. They can instead...
I think it's more just bullying. They just want to bully somebody and make them feel bad about themselves. That's really what it is. But then again, the women that are attracted to posting themselves are also looking for attention, so I don't care about either of them.
Bring her down to their own level. And that same sentiment is what I get from the manosphere as well. If I were a Red Pill Manosphere podcaster, I'd probably say something like, these modern men are defeminizing women. They expect to get hot women out of their league, go 50-50 with them, and then expect to get 3 wives when they can't even pay for the meal of 1. What makes you, a balding, broke, fat loser, think that they deserve that? You think that you deserve 3 hot women when you can't even afford to pay for dinner? These modern men are absolutely delusional.
Exactly.
Shrinkle. A lot of you really need to...
Were those real glasses or were those CGI?
Wash your ass, which is why today's video is sponsored by Reed Street Soap.
Whoa,
you deserve a soap that looks as good as it smells.
I would say I recommend maybe taking a look at her ad, her video, but I don't use soap. It's gay. I'm sorry.
This delusion knows no bounds. Visit readstreetsoap.com to become bimbo. Now back to the video. George's delusion knows no bounds. He thinks he's recognized as Father Red Pill like Patrice O'Neill, but in reality, it's not George's photos that people have on their walls and tables. Considering that George charges $1,000 to speak to him one-on-one, you would think that people dedicated shrines to this guy. I mean, he does act like a cult leader.
I usually charge about $1,000 an hour for my one-on-one stuff. I'll just tell you that right now. If you say, hey, I want a one-on-one with you, Rollo, just understand it's going to be about $1,000 an hour because that's what my time is worth these days. And I'll be happy to analyze your situation and give.
I almost guarantee you nobody's fucking doing that. This guy's not worth shit. He's just overvaluing himself. He's like a fucking 300-pound OnlyFans model that charges $15 a month. Like, it's just like, sorry, that's a little rude, but I don't care. It's kind of also true. So what are you talking about?
Give you a more detailed thing. But
Yeah, he's helping men all right. He's helping them empty their wallets. Has anybody actually been desperate enough to spend $1,000 for an hour of his time? OnlyFans girls on Red Pill podcast get humbled for overvaluing themselves all the time for asking for guys that make six figures. George is way more delusional than those girls. For perspective, in America, an average therapist makes like $90 to $150 an hour. A really good one might make like $250. So you're telling me that George is worth 4 times more than a good therapist is. But you know what? Maybe I'm just not Red Pill aware enough.
Because I'm Red Pill aware right now.
You would think with how much he charges...
Yeah, but if George cures you in one session, it's basically better than going to a fucking therapist weekly.
He wouldn't feel the need to lie for clicks. Like how he lied about Jordan Peterson's daughter, Michaela Peterson. Michaela confronts George on her podcast about how he read a Twitter thread about her with a list of rumors that he didn't bother to fact check before making judgments and statements about it on his stream.
So in your video, you said, oh, she brought her dad to Russia, and then while he was in the hospital, went off and, partied with Andrew Tate, which wasn't right because that was 3 months earlier. I just wanted to clarify that.
Well, that's the information that I had available to me.
And he didn't say sorry to her. He was just kind of like, oh well. And that lack of accountability shows up again when Michaela Peterson confronts him about him comparing her to Casey Anthony.
And so I stopped taking birth control just in case it was. But yeah, I did stop taking it, and that ended up resulting in Scarlett, who I'm thrilled to have, but it definitely put a bit of a kibosh on the direction I thought my life was going to take. However, it ended up not being a negative thing. It ended up being a positive thing, but it was scary.
Put a kibosh on my personal life. Sound like killed a party? Sure does to me.
I didn't like the comparison that you made between me and Casey Anthony, who murdered her kid and then put her in the trunk so that she could go party. I thought that was not very nice.
And what's his justification of...
Well, I almost guarantee he's going to act like a pussy afterwards. And that's going to be the biggest thing that people in the manosphere are going to gravitate towards, whether you're a pussy or not. The problem, though, is that you really can't... I would say that Jordan Peterson's wife, or excuse me, daughter, my bad, she's going to be probably looked relatively favorably in the manosphere because it's Jordan Peterson. So you it sounds like he's just taking shots to be provocative.
Of lying about her and misrepresenting her. Well, it gets clicks.
I'm not saying that that's what you wanted to do, okay? I'm just using Casey Anthony as one prime example of that. I use other examples as well.
Well, the thumbnail did have me, and I do thank you for picking a good picture of me, by the way, but it did have me and then killed a party.
Well, let me explain to you the dynamics of thumbnail creation, which you maybe already know. But when you
let me explain the dynamics of clickbait. It's okay to say that you murdered your kid. As long as it's just clickbait in a video, it's okay to be morbidly dishonest. Listen, I clickbait a little bit too, Ethan Klein destroys XQC in debate. It's a little clickbaity, it's a little sensationalized. Not really that much more frankly, not that sensationalized if you really think about it. But I think there's a difference between that and the Casey Anthony comparison. So,
there when you put people's recognizable faces on there, when you have to see the whites of their eyes, and you're not the first one I've ever done this with, by the way.
What are you,
That's
racist?
Simply how you get impressions on YouTube right now.
He has absolutely no shame and wussies out anytime he's confronted.
Again, I think a lot of people, when they watch that, they think that I was making a hit piece or an attack piece on you. So it's more of like an illustration rather than...
if people thought that, it probably was that. No?
Like, I'm going to take you down.
So when I say, the bigger the hoop, the bigger the hope.
Hoop earrings, duly noted. Thank you very much.
So if I do hashtag hoop earrings, there you go.
He's a tough guy until a woman confronts him. That's not very high value alpha male of him.
But, before we jump in here, it's like my point
never
is...
Never back down, never what? Never back down, never what, Rollo? Never give up. Never back down, never what? Never back down, never what? Never give up, Rollo. Never concede to these freaking women. Never back down, never what? That's what I'm saying, baby. That's what I'm saying, dude. I'm back, never back down, never what? Okay, I have to stop. But it's actually like inspiring me right now. Inspiring.
To destroy Lauren Southern, but it's just to...
I like it when my wife wears hoop earrings. And you want to know what? Maybe there is a hoe aesthetic attached to it, but sometimes I want my wife to look like a filthy whore, and it fucking turns me on. I don't care. And she's just... that's what she is to me. Sometimes. And the mood strikes me. So, got a fucking problem with that?
Sort of clear the air, and I try not to anyways, make it a a personal attack, but that doesn't mean that everybody in the chat isn't like, oh man, she looks like a 12-year-old boy.
Mr. I don't try to do personal attacks proceeds to tweet that live streamer Destiny and Lauren have a love child. What is the evidence based on? Well, George did a live stream where he reads the email of Lauren Southern's ex-husband, but take notice how George provides no evidence, especially on his claim about Lauren Southern being pregnant.
Destiny was her ticket to getting back in the YouTuber game. I had received information.
I mean, that part might be true. I don't really know Lauren Southern. I only know Lauren Northern. That was a horrible joke, but you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And my ideology is never back down, never what? So I went for it. Either way, everything aside, I'm going to die here. Oh, I got stunned. Everything aside, that might be true. I mean, Destiny does revamp the careers of a lot of people. You know what I mean? That's why I've been staying away from Destiny. I know it sounds weird because, like, obviously I took a little bit of a hit when I did the channel restructure. I don't want to be, like, heavy orbiter. You know what I mean? And, like, bruh. I don't know. That's kind of why.
That they were hanging out a lot when her U.S. travel ban was lifted. They started sleeping with each other as he is in some kind of relationship like that. Lauren then got pregnant, and it was a girl. They just started formalizing the relationship as, I guess...
Damn, it was a girl. Hopefully they aborted it.
There's a kid involved.
He's clearly okay with doing personal attacks. He just doesn't want to take the responsibility.
Sorry, that was a joke.
For it.
There's your third party. I'm the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. I just work here, man.
And this is the same guy that gets uppity about holding modern women accountable.
When you're making an example of people, or when you are holding women accountable, or you're having a debate with somebody.
But when it's time for him to be held accountable, he just does the cop out. Well, I just work here.
I don't know. I just work here, man. I'm just reporting the news. I report, you decide.
His hands are clean. Meanwhile,
I report, you decide.
He's getting giddy like a teenage girl about to gossip at the lunch table.
Yeah. What's the point in being all discreet? Well, we're not. We're gonna end that. We're gonna end that streak right now. Okay, you guys ready for your bombshell? Here's your bombshell.
Speaking of personal attacks, there is a debate between the live streamers Destiny, who we mentioned earlier, Sneego versus George, and George could not define what a high value man was, despite
high value male is different to everybody. I'm gonna come. Yeah, it was kind of like cowardice, and Fresh and Fit didn't push him at all, so it was pathetic.
His entire red pill brand being centered around it. It all revolves around this tweet that George made that lists the steps on how to become a high value male, one of which includes getting a vasectomy, which is why Destiny responds to Rollo saying that with this.
What if your definition of a high value man is being getting into a trade and having 5 kids by the time you're 22? One of the tweet was, you've got some conception of a high value man. Here are 8 points that you think you need to do to get to it. And now you've gotten blown the fuck up on the vasectomy thing, which you probably realize is fucking retarded. But you're too old and stubborn to walk back from it. That's the point of this conversation.
I'm not too stubborn.
When asked what he defines as a high value male, he proceeds to dodge the question.
It's like grandpa telling like stories from Vietnam. Like, just say, what is a high value man? It's the first part of the tweet. What does that mean?
You tell me what a high value man is. Because here's the thing: is it doesn't matter what I'm going to say is a high value man. You guys are fucking.
Well, kind of does. You're kind of the guy. You're the high value male. I'm the owner, operator, and CEO of Manosphere Incorporated. What's a high value man? I cannot tell you what that is. I can't tell you what that is. That's like the person who owns a Toys R Us not knowing who Joshua Giraffe is. It's a very obscure joke. It's not that obscure. Some of you know.
This is your tweet.
It doesn't matter what I say is a high value man.
You gave a list of 8 things. Do these 8 things to become a high value man. Do 1 through 8 to become A. And you're not defining what A is.
The fastest way to becoming a high value man is these things.
What is that? What is a high value man?
We can't have an argument if I don't even know what your definition
is. The very fact that you're even asking this in the first place is the actual point of a fucking tweet, okay?
When you ask him to defend his position on a basic level, he has no argument, and instead he gets emotional and launches insults and basically has a melty.
Because the point of it was to
the melty thing's killing me.
Get douche nozzles like yourself to have this conversation.
A douche nozzle, women, you don't need to use a douche. It's unhealthy for you. Let the pH of your vagina take care of the work. It's true.
In the first place.
How old are you, bro? Douche nozzles?
You guys are idiots.
I thought he wasn't like those other red pill guys.
And that sensation.
He's making us white men look bad, dude. It's crazy. Damn, son.
That sells. You know what doesn't sell? When you're trying to intellectually break it down. I just want somebody to go, yeah.
It's crazy because back in the day, there used to be men that sold for a lot of money. Those were the highest value men. We don't look at it that way because we were racist. Wait, you know what I'm saying though? I'm out of fucking pocket today. I can't handle myself. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, get her, Kevin Samuels. Tell her she's average at best. That's all sizzle. That's no steak. That's no substance. If I'm going to break it down, it's not just red meat. It's also the meat, right? It's sizzle and steak rather than just selling the sizzle.
Those other
Instead of red meat, it's also the meat. What the fuck are you talking about? The hell are you saying?
Pill guys sell sizzle. I sell steak.
But it did have me and then kill to party
Well, let me
next to that.
explain to you.
Surely his moral superiority is the reason for his lack of success that he loves to complain about.
That's out of my 4th book, which nobody seems to want to read.
I've been doing this for 20 freaking years.
And just like those other red pill guys, he also likes to promote non-committal relationships as well as hookup culture.
You better take care of your kids, Buster, because that's what a real man does. You
True.
better look like
I
this
agree with
guy
that.
on the right side right there. That's your responsibility. That's why men exist. This is your purpose for being, right? You know what's funny? I can make the case for both of these. Your purpose for being is to have a commitment to yourself like Dan Bilzerian.
I mean, I would say that your purpose of living is not to be selfish, entitled fuck like Dan Bilzerian, and to commit and have babies and perpetuate your immortality through your children. Like, that's the whole point to me. So
Be the best version of yourself for yourself versus the best version of yourself to save the West, to please God, to please your wife. Because if mama ain't happy, God ain't happy.
I mean, aren't you saying that like the fucking West is crumbling? Like, I don't know. Wouldn't you getting married would generally be considered antithetical to the Western idea to some extent, or the new progressive Western idea? I guess you would argue, you would label it as. So wouldn't be getting married would be a good thing? What are you fucking talking about? Damn. Somebody really modeled this character. That's incredible.
Just do what feels good, queen. Don't let no man tell you.
Casual sex, feminism has influenced that in some way.
Sleep with who you want. They can't salute shame you, queen. That's a lot of male
I mean,
empowerment.
yeah, if anything, casual sex is very feminist of you to engage in, is it not? Damn.
And the pregnancy test, you could say, oh, this is a flex. No, that's her
That's not
insurance
bad either.
policy, because that's insurance to keep you around. And if you believe it, that's even that much better. If you gaslit yourself into thinking that that's a flex.
You know, after hearing him call children just an insurance policy to hold men hostage, you really wouldn't think that he's been married for 26 years with a daughter. As a father with
I can't imagine his wife loves him in any capacity. I'm just going to be real with you. So.
a daughter, it's really surprising how much he encourages men to rack up women's body counts, considering that this could be his daughter that some guy does this to. If you sleep with guys on the first night, well, now you're racking up your body count and you're not worth marrying.
From a statistical standpoint right now, when women get to be, past 31 or 32 years old, and they're looking for and complaining about why they can't find the right guy or the nice guy, that is the guy that is the quote-unquote boyfriend material. That's the guy that they wanted to settle down with.
BFM.
That's not the guy that they wanted to have, hot fun sex with when they were in their crazy college years, and now they're ready to get serious.
But if you don't sleep with that high-value alpha male on the first night, well, now you lost them, and it's your fault.
Clearly he makes a lot of money. Clearly he's jacked. Clearly he's an ideal guy that I would really like to get with. He's not going to say, okay, well, if you don't want to have sex with me, that conversation doesn't happen. He just doesn't talk to you anymore. You're pushed out and another girl comes in.
Does he tell his daughter to sleep with men as soon as she meets them and then blame her for it too? George is encouraging a no-win scenario where you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Men being responsible for their families, yes. Responsibility is very important for men.
He preaches about responsibility for men.
How is responsibility important for men if this guy's going on a tear about how men should be irresponsible? I don't really understand.
And being good. But as soon as push comes to shove, that sentiment is nowhere to be found.
When you're talking about a society that prioritizes the sexual strategies of women above that of men, is it men's responsibility for that? Or
what the fuck are you talking about? How does society prioritize sexual strategies? Like, what is society to you? Like, there's no governmental structure that's like, well, we should prioritize women. No, it's just the way that we're interacting. It's really not that big of a deal. And prioritize what? Like, you're just saying, like, being committed. Like, okay, so, like, just set the boundary, say you don't want to do that. And if women don't want to fuck you, that's your problem. You're just not going to get fucked.
should those guys say, no, I'm not gonna settle down with you. I don't have any obligation to marry you. I don't have any obligation to give you any kind of commitment because.
And then she's not gonna want to fuck you.
Your sexual strategy.
That's why most fuckboys just lie to women and say that they're down for commitment, and then they just leave the girl after. It's kind of true. It's also fucked up. Don't do that, guys. I've never done that.
From the time you were, say, 18 till about 28 years old, had nothing to do with planning for the long term.
Aren't you making men weaker by babying them and taking all of their responsibility away? In case
True.
you're wondering what George's response.
Be a real man, get married, have kids, and have sex with men on the side once a month at a strip club, like a gay strip club. Going out of town on a business meeting, boom, be a real man.
Response to that sentiment is?
Because it's not gay if you're on top. You know what I mean? Like, there's something, you know what I mean? Like, in fact, I think it's gayer to have sex with women. Because what does it take to dominate a woman? No, they're weak. Okay? This is a joke. But guys, masculine, dominate a man, that's true masculine. If you could dominate a dominant character or individual, you are a real man. Think about that for a second.
Basically, he never addresses the counter arguments that Lauren made in that debate and instead goes on a long-winded spiel like it's your grandfather telling an old story about women and hypergamy.
There are two people that are having sex and they're both responsible.
So what they're doing is they're looking for a guy who is at their level or above their level.
He does not address the arguments.
I don't think women, I don't really, I mean, like everybody's looking for that. A person that's at their or above their level. That's not, you know, that's okay. Hot take, I guess.
Because he doesn't know how to. He just knows how to respond with his pre-written NPC lines that he regurgitates over and over.
When you talk about hypergamy, it's alpha seed and beta need. It's not that every woman will, it's that any woman can.
I literally feel like he's an NPC in a video game and I'm clicking A as he does his
Why is
line.
my character running and on a mount? I think this is a bug.
Alpha seed, beta need, beta bucks, alpha fuck. It's not that a woman will, it's that a woman can. His hypergamy spiel about 80% of women only being intimate with 20% of men. It really reminds me of feminists saying that the body standards are too high.
It's what we call the 80-20 rule, okay? 80% of guys, and I can show you this statistically through, there's a great book called Dataclysm. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but statistically speaking, women do not want to have anything. They find 80%, sometimes 85% of men unattractive.
Speaking of which, like a woke
Wow, okay. Maybe? What does that mean? I don't know.
feminist, George misled people on that data about women only doing 20% of men. This study isn't even online anymore. It was deleted and it's like 15 years old. The study is so old that we didn't even have filters back then like that, and dating apps weren't really that common. The conclusion he drew from this irrelevant data of women only swiping on omega alphas is really misleading.
Women who were like rated a 5 out of 10 were far more likely to message another 5 out of 10 than a man who was a 5 out of 10 was to message a 5 out of 10. So when it came to actual contact, which I think is the important aspect, the majority of men were more likely to actually message and engage with the 1% of women. Whereas women may have rated men lower, but they were more likely to engage with the men that were in the lower categories.
That debate was from around 2 years ago, and he still uses that statistic.
Getting back to the 80%ers and the 20%ers, the majority of the greatest inventions and innovations, they were created by the guys who are in the 80% trying to find a way out.
And he does it in a way to demonize women.
Woman's sexual strategy so that she's looking for the guy who has that provisioning capability, but he also still has to be hot, and he also still has to be virile. He also has to have good testosterone levels, and he's got to be taller, and he's got to have the six-pack abs.
As if men wouldn't also be intimate with hotter women if they could over an average one. If there's one thing
True.
that I agree with George on, it's that furthering the divide between men and women is not conducive for a healthy, functioning society.
Women need a man like a fish needs a bicycle, right? We've been hearing that since the 70s. And for guys on the opposite side, it's the juice ain't worth it.
What are you talking about? I feel like everybody needs a partner. I don't know who's saying that. Who's the idiot saying that? I don't understand. It's so weird when you centralize around an ideology that you find worthless. It makes you find yourself worthless. Men don't need women, I believe. Why? Why do you believe that? That's stupid. What a dumb thing to say. People need each other for like companionship. It's just natural. Why is nobody here?
The squeeze. Right. Well, that's not how you form a cohesive society. That's not how you form families.
And George's ideology is not conducive for that healthy society. It encourages people to do hookup culture, which is the opposite of forming families. And it encourages being helpless and blaming the other gender. The red pill ideology in general is very dehumanizing. It doesn't cultivate a healthy outlook on dating. It's very much like a cult. You have the old guy figurehead selling himself as a high-value male for his followers to worship him. In cults, they have in-group terminology, kind of like how the manosphere does. And in cults, they'll have you sacrifice your life savings if that's what it takes to contribute. This reminds me of Jack Murphy's program, the Liminal Order, Andrew Tate's pyramid scheme. If you question them or their ideology, they label you as a traitor or feminist and revoke your membership.
The new sort of anti-red pill rhetoric that's going on by the same guys who made a damn good living off of it for the last 2 years, duly noticed and duly noted. Your names are now in the book. We know who's for real and who's about this and who's not right now. So when all this is over, when the election cycle is done, and you want to come back to the manosphere,
and skepticism is not allowed. Are you a male feminist or something?
You're basically a male feminist right now, guys. You're a disgrace to the manosphere. Give me their badge. Turn to your man.
They isolate you and get mad if you have a spouse because you're.
You like that reaction there? Sorry. Like that.
Or betraying the cause and siding with women.
If I go and I say, hey, I've been married for 25 years, people go, well, don't listen to anything he has to say. He can't possibly be red pill. He's been married for 25 years.
The red pill manosphere ideology is sold as being the solution for men's problems.
That's a weird, weak thing to do. Like, it's like, oh, I'm married, and I still hate women. It's kind of pathetic, in my opinion. Like, you're supposed to stand by your spouse. So why would you be part of an ideology that thinks that women are less than? It's just pathetic. It's a loser shit.
Problems.
For every guy that's out there that seems like really messed up and really like hates women, and I understand why that is, because a lot of guys right now see the manosphere or see the red pill as sort of.
I understand why you hate people. I'm like, literally, you are an ist, right? You're some kind of a bigot. I understand why people hate women. I understand why people hate men. I understand like why. That's never. Like, that's just stupid. That's ignorant. That's ignorant, all right? Some people would say it like that. Not me, though. What the hell are you talking about, you know? It's just generally like a bigoted thing to say. You're just trying to hate another group and blame them for problems. Childish is what I would call it.
Validation for why their lives are so fucked up.
And they give you a rebirth, so to speak, in cults, just like George here is saying that he is saving lives.
You know, literally come out to conventions and talks that I've given just so that they could tell me that, you know, they had a plan to kill themselves. They'd actually set a date to kill themselves and then canceled that date because they read my first book and they go, it all became very clear. Now I understand what's going on.
I just don't believe that. Nobody reads your dumb fucking shit book. By the way, did you know he has 5 of those books? I don't know why, but
and now I realize that I have accurate information and I can sort of rebuild my life according to that accurate information right now.
Sometimes even on YouTube or Twitter. Ludwig, you saved my life. No, I didn't save your life. What do you mean I saved your life? I've been playing Pokemon and Among Us in Minecraft. All I did was play games, and you used me as a distraction to maybe get through a bad period or whatever it was. But
I wish that my wife had a distraction to get through a bad period. That fucking bitch bleeds, bro. Woo, it's crazy. Sorry, I respect my wife and women. I love her.
Did it? You used me. You could have used anything. So stop giving me the credit that you deserve for doing all the work. I don't know you. How can I save you? Come on, think about it.
Joining this cult is like entering the crab bucket. You try to crawl out and they drag you right back down to their level so that you can suffer together. Just as the red pill dehumanizes women and paints them as evil, women in response will see that and assume that all guys are like these guys in the red pill manosphere. The red pill is encouraging not only for men to hate women, but also for women to hate men.
I've said this before, it's like the red pill doesn't exist so that men will hate women. It exists so men won't hate women for what they can never be to them.
Yeah, I mean, when I hear people say that, you should, these people are worth less respect, I go, I don't want to hate that. You know?
That's hard sometimes.
When I hear someone dehumanize a particular group, I'm always like, that's trying to be helpful. It's trying to help those people. That makes perfect sense to me. Understandable.
As much as George says that the red pill does not make men hate women, it has done a fantastic job at wedging the divide between them and turning men into the feminists that they hate. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it, subscribe, and leave a comment, and maybe if you're feeling generous, share the video as well. This video took a long time to research, and after watching all of this, it really does make me sad to see that men genuinely are becoming jaded from this movement, and I hope that this video brings some light to that. Also follow my social media, it's in the description, and don't forget to pick up some soap. Use code PINKOUT. Bye-bye.
Okay. Well,
80%, at least 80% of guys do not have that authority. They have no say whatsoever.
If you want women to set the rules, then we can have that gynocentric world. That's fine. But if you guys want to do this whole where alpha, we run the world, we need to get out of this gynocentrism, then maybe you do need to take that mind if I am my sister's keeper. Step up, take that responsibility, because there's a whole lot of talking about how we want men to run the world, and then a whole lot of complaining about, oh man, well then we have to do all the work. Well, yeah.
Okay, let's just go to the next one.
Autism.
This is the second one from her. It's called The Manosphere Will Believe Anything. It started off with something about autism.
Females with autism.
Okay.
So,
I'm already here. Females with autism, I'm already tuning in. Incredible.
Venti definitely has.
Oh, she's autism. Okay. Well, she does have a sonic
just
on.
So before I get started here,
I think that's the joke.
I have a lot of people who have come to me and have dished out a lot of dirt on you. I could make it public, but I'm not going to. And could I dox her with some real? I've got the photos to really rough her up. But
yes, nothing says I'm smart like threatening somebody with some kind of doxing harm. Ah, yes. This is what I came here for. That's a well-regulated, emotionally regulated man. I will dox you. I will hurt you in some capacity. I will AFK farm in a fucking lane instead of actually playing the game with the people.
Not going to do that either. So I believe this is a friend of yours. By the way, you're right about Brittany's Christian trad grift, because I know for a fact that Brittany has full-on nude pics.
You gotta love how he feigns taking the high road as he airs someone's dirty laundry. Rollo Tomassi, or as we like to call him here, George the Gossipy Grandma, is the grandmother of the red pill manosphere.
That's it? She has some nudes out there? That's everything? That's the dirty laundry? Okay.
You call yourself the godfather of the red pill. You
call myself the
godfather of the manosphere, okay? Other people have called me that.
Okay, great. That's very.
Do you understand?
Okay.
I am not red pill adjacent. I am in the red. I am the father of the red pill.
A father.
In his recent stream, he read the email of somebody who told him about my personal life as well as my personal dating life.
I've got photos. I think I put one up on Twitter not too long ago. I know about Mason. I know about the nudes. I know about a lot of stuff.
Like revenge nudes? Wow, that's a real man. It takes a real man to leak revenge porn. Takes a real man.
Trust me, you have a lot of enemies. You probably don't want to fuck with me.
Whoa.
Because I know people and I know things.
Because George didn't like the video I made on him, he decided to read this email on his stream in response to that because I spoke out against him and the manosphere using woke feminist tactics such as censorship. And the email was framed obviously in a way to demonize me and make me look like I was a bad girlfriend.
She drove him insane and made it look like he was the bad one. Meanwhile, she would provoke him and say things like he was too weak or how he wasn't fit enough. She would even fight him in group hangouts in front of everyone and humiliate him.
George also talked about having my nudes on stream and even threatening to send it to my enemies and laughing about it.
Oh, Rational Male, send those nudes to Undead Chronic. Should I?
Dude, this is just like weird and creepy. Like, what the fuck? This guy thinks that this is like a win. Ah, yes. I'm gonna send. Why? It's so weird. It's just like a weird, childish thing to do. Wow, that was fucking. I got cucked hard on that one. It's just like a weird, childish thing to do. I don't get it.
I got to give you at least some kind of sizzle with the steak here.
As per usual, George cannot make an argument to save his life, which is why he chose to hit me below the belt.
I have my own spies that tell me stuff too.
Oh shit! It's like Among Us. This is real life Among Us.
And I know quite a bit about Brittany as well.
Oh
Do you not
shit!
Think that I've dealt
You know a lot about a public figure. Oh. Oh god! I'm gonna come.
Like way better haters and trolls than you.
No, I don't think you have.
What the fuck is this?
That email was actually sent by me.
Is that real? There's no way that she just did this. There's absolutely no way. That's crazy. If she actually sent this email, that's like a next level fucking high IQ play on that one. I just missed this guy with point blank. We're gonna lose anyway. I fucking suck. That's fucking wild to me, bro. That's crazy.
How are those steaks sizzling?
I'm not going to put my 20 plus year, but almost 22 years.
Oh my god.
Credibility on the line just for some dumb little bit like this.
Well, you just did. I'll be accepting my award for YouTube's Best Actress now. I've seen so much poor fact-checking from the manosphere that I decided to do a little trolling. Here you can see that this email that he read off on his stream with the timestamps, and you can see that it is me logged into the account. This is in fact my email that I am logged in.
Wait, did she send him nude pictures then? That's weird.
Into. And here's the email that I sent.
What? I'm not gonna read that. I'm too old for this. I'm terrible at Skype.
So I'm gonna refresh the page. And you can see that it is real.
Wow.
That's his email. And sent from his iPad.
Wow.
Because George himself lists Tom Likas as his inspiration for his ideology on women and dating.
All right, so next thing is, it's not an ideology, you dumb bitch.
Well, this autistic...
What? It literally is an ideology. What? What does that mean? Does he think that's a bad word? It's just a word. It just means a thing. What?
Sick dumb bitch fooled you.
Yep.
So
yeah, I am. I'm just
I told you, though. You keep hearing that sound. He's from the Haunted Mansion ride. Where do you think you got that audio from, dude? It's literally back behind the scenes Disney shit, dude.
That's all I am. I'm just oblivious. I don't know.
In the email, I even put one of the oldest popular memes on the internet, and he actually fell for it.
I got the impression that the reason she stayed with him, despite starting all these fights with him, was because his mom was the CFO of a really big company. She wanted his inheritance. He showed me a text from his mother with a picture of a bank statement showing that Brittany spent over $9,000 on his credit card.
It's over 9,000! What, 9,000?
I was really surprised that when he read this on stream that not a single person pointed it out to him. It is absolutely hilarious to watch him do victory laps and act smug when it's really just him rolling around in his own shit. And for everyone else to watch for their own entertainment. It is truly a sight to behold.
This is embarrassing.
Yeah.
Dude, this is so humiliating. Like, he's actually just got humiliated by Venti.
Yeah. Gotcha. I don't have that loaded. Gotcha, bitch. How do you feel? How do you like it?
I don't have that loaded. Gotcha, bitch. Dude, this guy literally thinks in memes. Like that. I don't know. This sounds weird, but like sometimes you hear a meme and you just kind of like it invades your brain. It happens to all of us, by yourself too. But this guy's like, I wanted to play the gotcha bitch meme, but I don't have the meme loaded, so I'm gonna gotcha bitch. And he did it with like the inflection. Like he really it was weird. That was just the weirdest thing I've ever seen him do. It was just so bizarre.
Like apples? How you like them apples? You wanted?
He's just memeing right now. He's just being kind of a dank memer. He's just being a memer. He's just memeing.
You wanted to? You want it? You got it, man.
He's just hit. What was that? I'm pretty sure that was Scarface.
Say my name.
Yeah.
Bimbo Ops.
Yep.
1, George 0. I'll bet that George is sweating right about now. And when he goes to wash off that sweat, I hope he does with Reed Street soap. You can support the Bimbo Ops you've seen today by going to...
All right, guys. Support soap. Personally, as a man, I don't use it, but you get the point. You know what I mean? The hell is this?
And what that has... She talked on the same page. The smell of victory. Now back to the video. Let's back it up a bit so everybody's on the same page. 2 months ago, Lauren Southern released this video here talking about her divorce. She talked about how she left her unhealthy relationship and how she is now a single parent and what that has taught her. So George took it upon himself to dedicate a live stream to talk about how Lauren actually got impregnated by the live streamer Destiny.
So there was a child involved in Destiny, according to the X here anyways. Lauren uses people to get what she wants. Destiny was her ticket to getting back in the YouTuber game. They started sleeping with each other as he is in some kind of relationship like that. Lauren then got pregnant and it was a girl. They just started formalizing the relationship as I guess there's a kid involved. However, have since been told she is seeing Tim Pool. He has given her a job.
Yeah, I wonder, for Rollo, has his wife or kid been on the stream ever? I don't know. I imagine not. And the reason I ask that is because, like, based on his content, like streamer content, I feel like I mean, do they even like his content? They probably think he's a fucking loser. He's the TikTok meme of, like, oh, a male with a podcast.
Or something else like that.
He provided no actual evidence, so it was pretty apparent that he was willing to believe almost anything. And that's where the email comes in. So, in the process of making my video, I emailed him a fabricated story where I took internet gossip and twisted all the details to suit Rollo's confirmation bias on women being evil, manipulative liars. Because we know how much he loves to be told he's right. You gotta stroke that ego.
He was probably sitting on the toilet taking a shit, touching his wiggler, and reading the email at the same time. He's probably touched and went, smelled it. He's like, oof, you know? That's probably like the scene of him reading this email.
By the way, you're right about Brittany's Christian trad grift.
She's not a Christian!
Because I know for a fact that Brittany has full-on nudes.
I wrote in
Whoa! You guys, I don't know if you knew this, but Christians, true Christians, their clothes are glued to them. They can't get nude. I don't know if you knew this. It's a fact. This is a fact. I'm not, literally, it's a fact. Because I said so. It's a fact. Okay?
Like me being a gold digger, emasculating the man, and saying that I am manipulative.
She would provoke him and say things like he was too weak or how he wasn't fit enough.
Because I knew what he wanted.
Isn't that something a conservative would say, though?
To believe about me, and I knew that his confirmation bias was so strong that it would overtake his better judgment. If he even has any, that is. Maybe he's right, and women are manipulative after all. I sent the email before I dropped my video, and he didn't respond until after I released my video. And out of this entire email, of all the things he could have asked me about, he could have asked questions to fact check or asked for a phone call. But no, instead, his top priority was my nudes. I wonder if his wife knows that the father of her child is asking for women's revenge porn on the internet.
Damn.
How creepy. And he even acknowledges that it's revenge porn on his own live stream.
I gotta be careful, man, because then that becomes like revenge porn, and I don't want to get involved in that either.
But that didn't stop George from pestering me in email after his stream to try to get my nudes. This 50-something-year-old man was really pressed about getting my revenge porn. I find it absolutely hilarious how he's acting out how gross having my nudes are for his stream, doing this whole performative thing, considering that I made the entire thing up.
I know for a fact that Brittany has full-on nudes. So do I now, unfortunately.
His source for my nudes were, trust me, bro.
Yes, there are.
Oh, you didn't send him anything. You just lied about that. Trust me. I've got them.
There are actually nudes of her out there, too. Trust me.
The only photos that were...
It's interesting. I told the bank that. They're like, oh, do you have any collateral for this loan? No, trust me. I got it. You don't even have to worry. Because I got it. You don't have to worry about anything. We're all set. We're all straight, brother.
Attached to that email were random pictures from group hangouts back in the day. Shout out to my friend Two Salats, who is a streamer. He helped make this happen by giving me the photos from way back then. Anyway, George is so desperate to confirm his bias that he even fell for my satirical bit back in the day. He actually fell for my dumb gamer girl bit from like 8 years ago in the current year.
She's gonna say that there are no nudes. Then why did she do a video when she was it 2015? I think. So I don't know. I'm completely.
Wait, how old would she have been in 2015? How old is Brittany Venti? What? She's 26. 8 years ago? When is 2015? Is it 8 years ago? I guess she would have been illegal. All right, it's still weird.
A noob to all this. I'm a boomer. I don't know anything.
Me trolling and acting like a dumb gamer girl is kind of what made me known on the internet in the first place. I don't expect them to know every single thing about me, but this is what I call very bare minimum research. I have been trolling on the internet about having nudes since I could remember because people like George accused me of having it, so I thought it would be really funny for the satirical bit to pretend that I have them, which I clarified in a video which he would have found if he did bare minimum research. Only someone with an agenda trying to confirm their biases would actually believe this after watching it for a little bit.
Keep your anti-feminism to yourself.
The fuck is that?
To yours. Ow!
What the fuck?
That hurt. Ow!
Okay.
Look how red it is. Look, it's turning red right here. How is it fake? You see it fucking turning red!
But no, George has to confirm his biases. I mean, don't you see I'm wearing hoop earrings? I must be a slut.
So when I say, the bigger the hoop, the bigger the hoe.
Now you might be wondering, Brittany, what if this is...
But does he mean that the fat women wear hoop earrings? I don't understand. What does that mean?
It's just a one-off that he fell for the troll and did some bad reporting and maliciously lied about having your nudes. And worst of all, trying to act like they would be gross. Didn't he say that he had proof about Lauren Southern undeniably being the world's biggest slut and getting pregnant with Destiny's Child?
All that shit about Lauren Southern?
I mean, I would fuck all three of them. You know? I mean, they're all pretty hot. They're not bad. Where did they go, by the way? So weird.
Yeah, I'll talk about that too if you'd like. But I have technically their medical records. I do have medical records that she was in fact pregnant about this time last year, August 8th.
Why does he lie about this stuff? Like, does he not realize that if you lie, you make God cry, an angel cries? That's why I lie when I'm ready for the rain. You know what I mean? Because rain is just angels crying, and thunder is just the angels bowling. So good to know.
8th of 2022. I have them right in my possession. You think you have spies? I got spies too.
All two of them? George's informant on Lauren Southern's pregnancy with Destiny's Child.
I got spies too. I've been known to dabble in Team Fortress.
Was actually Lauren Southern. She emailed him fake documents on her being pregnant with Destiny's baby, and he actually believed it.
Well, I can bet you $10,000 that she was pregnant.
Jesus.
I guess George owes Lauren Southern $10,000. Hi, George. I, 30M, work in healthcare admin in Vancouver and have been following you for almost a year now. Your content has made a huge...
I love you. You made me not want to take my own life. You think that any of the people who actually claimed Rollo saved them mentally were just lying to, like, just to laugh at this guy? Because that's fucking embarrassing.
Difference in my life personally. I'm divorced and have to pay child support even though they took my kid from me. I'm laughing because she made it so stereotypical. I'm on my way to becoming a high-value male thanks to you and others. I started following you last year after you started exposing the truth about Lauren Southern. She came into the clinic I work at to get an ultrasound. I checked her in myself. I thought she might eventually break the news online, but she never did. I do have proof that she was pregnant. You were right. You were right the whole time. I love how she threw in that little ego stroke in there. Like, she independently did that. She sent her email before I sent mine, and she came to the same conclusion that he needed his ego stroked for him to believe the email. After her spewing more lies in her recent video, I'm finally reaching out to you. As you can imagine, this is personal for me. What she did to her husband is what happened to me. Fuck her and all these fake fucking Eve thoughts everyone keeps making excuses for.
Like, even if you like hated her, don't you think that maybe, like, legally you shouldn't talk about this stuff? You know what I mean? Like, wow, that's just like there's a morality or just a moral argument here as well. No, it's fucking weird.
This is war. I can send you a pic of the ultrasound intake form from last year that shows her as pregnant. I already took the pic, but you have to promise you won't say it came from a healthcare worker. I'm not a high-level employee, but I still want this job for the time being. Please respond so I know that you're getting this, and let's bury this bitch.
Whoa!
This sounds like if somebody was making fun of an incel, like what you think they would
Let's
say.
bury
She
this
literally made this
bitch.
sound like satire, and he actually believed it. So knowing this, you can imagine how funny it was watching him go on No Jumper, talking about how he has the proof about Lauren Southern being pregnant with Destiny's child.
I think you wrote the Destiny. You have medical records and proof that can show. I think it was Lauren Southern you were talking about.
According to the guy that I have been talking to, her ex, there was a sexual relationship there, and it resulted in a child. Well, I had another guy come up to me, and I have copies of her ultrasound tests from right around the month that they were talking about, August of last year, and it is definitely.
Is this guy saying that he has pictures of naked babies? Because that's what an ultrasound is. Okay, it's a naked baby. This guy's weird. Okay, other people's naked babies, even weirder, bizarre.
Her, I have the information confirmed for that, so I know that there was a child that was produced, or she was getting an OBGYN, ultrasound at that time.
What a fool. I bet he made the people that actually believed him feel real dumb. On No Jumper, George says that he doesn't know for a fact that Destiny's the dad, but he had no problem confidently saying this on Twitter.
Now, do I know that it was Destiny's? I don't know that, but I do know that there was a child involved, or there was a child.
This is George's fault for not doing the bare minimum
That's what I
research.
know.
He could have had a phone call with this hypothetical person, but he didn't. He could have done
Oh yeah, but then you have your friend be like, "Hey, it's me, not Lauren Southern's friend," and then bam, get him. I mean, he just really shouldn't. He should just have a moral backbone and not try to expose shit like this to be a petty bitch.
basic research to check the forms.
I mean, by the red pill logic, this would be the most woman thing you could do. Is just be this petty. So I'm just saying.
And the numbers on them to see if it even correlated with the country. But no, instead he decided to just gossip on any podcast that he could find. And if you feel bad for poor Grandma Red Pill here for getting bamboozled by the people he seeks to destroy, he did threaten to sue for defamation as well as deplatforming via copy striking / filing a privacy complaint, all over the fact that he didn't like the video and for me, quote unquote, doxing his daughter.
If you're going to go and dig shit up and you're going to dox my daughter, if you're going to do that, at least try to do something recent. So when I do a copyright strike on you, or I do a privacy strike on you, or I do, let's see, a defamation lawsuit on you, at least make me look a little bit better.
I don't know what was defamatory
Why brag about doing this stuff? It's so weird. Like, you don't realize it makes you look like a pussy? I don't understand.
about showing his daughter's public Instagram account under her promotional pageant account. He also
Damn,
claims that
she's a victim, bro. Anybody in the beauty pageant industry is a victim. That's a fact. I don't know what to tell you. That's a fact.
his wife, even though I censored her face in the photo.
She did, of course, dox my kid and my wife.
I don't know why he's getting mad at me. His daughter's the one that posted it.
Okay, his daughter's really a public figure. No, she's not, actually. And well, she did pageants. Yeah, that doesn't mean shit. There are plenty of other ways. There are plenty.
I mean, it's an Instagram that exists. I mean, I guess I understand the idea of signal boosting something, but what the fuck are you talking about? Oh shit.
Other girls and women who've done pageants over the years who are in no way public figures. She's not a winner of like Miss Nevada or anything like that. So she is effectively not a public figure. And yes, you could be held liable for defamation and slander. I could throw that out there.
If anyone's going to be held liable for slander, it's George. He spread plenty of misinformation about Lauren Southern and I, and did so without any real evidence. He's going to take me down because I dared to show the photo that his own daughter posted on her promotional pageant account. Apparently, this gives him justification to not only affect my income, try to deplatform me, but also spread my revenge corn. By the way, I didn't know that that was allowed on YouTube in the first place, considering that it's illegal. George doesn't have a great understanding in how the law works in general.
She essentially had this thumbnail and it was like right reading. Like it wasn't like, it was like mirror image. Now it's mirror imaged because she knows that I can get her on a copyright strike if I want.
What?
Wanted to, but now she's got to change it 50%. So
he really
the hell is she talking about?
Really thinks that the only reason that he can't copy strike my thumbnail is because I allegedly flipped the image to avoid being copy struck. The reason I flipped it was because the timestamp was covering my face. Even if I didn't flip it, it would still be protected by fair use. Is he not aware that YouTubers use people in their thumbnails all the time? Like, where is he getting this information from?
This guy's weird. This is somebody that you know is like has never actually been relevant because they are stupid and don't understand anything. They don't understand like any structure of any YouTube or any like, anything. Like they have no idea about any of, I guess you call it the YouTube culture. He's just babbling about. This guy's just babbling on, Nobody's ever like really checked his behavior. Like he goes on to some podcasts sometimes because he's like the fucking idiot friend that people feel bad for. Like, yeah, I'll throw you some attention, and it makes him feel good about himself. But nobody gives a shit about this guy. He's a fucking loser. Like he's not self-aware enough to understand that people pity him, and that's the only reason why anybody engages with his content.
Thighs.
And then the only people that really like gravitate towards him are fucking losers that are pathetic. Also pathetic fucking. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like a perpetual cycle. Fuck.
Two of them. So I guess that explains why he's so confused about me using jump cuts.
You notice that there's all these jump cuts in this, as I would expect.
He actually expects me to sit here and use his raw footage in my videos and bore my audience to death and set myself up to get copy struck by him. He is out of his mind. I kept all of his clips in context. He is just complaining that his own words made him look bad. The other funny highlights of his stream is him doing the things I initially criticized him for, such as name dropping to make himself seem more popular.
It's funny. I'm looking at like my YouTube stuff here now, and people suddenly people are finding out that I actually did something with Dr. Phil not too long ago.
People
Whoa,
know.
he did something with Dr. You have sex with him? You guys fuck? That's crazy, dude. Me too. I wish. Actually, fucking Dr. Phil.
Oh, who I am.
Anytime somebody wants to use my name about something, it's like, okay, fine. At least know what the fuck you're talking about. You can go and read. Had you read my first book, you would know that I list Tom Likas as an inspiration on that. I felt in the introduction of the very first fucking book.
You would know that if you read my book, all 5 of them. And he claims to be.
I'm not gonna read that book, dude. Fuck that. I don't think I could. It's probably too smarty pants for me.
Good at researching, which is pretty ironic considering that he got trolled so many times.
A lot of the stuff that I'm going to get into today is going to be like really nuts and bolts. I got statistics, I got research, I got all kinds of stuff to back this shit up, and always have.
Back that ass up.
The manosphere has once again proven my point that they are exactly like the woke feminists that they hate. They use the same censorship tactics.
Yeah, Dr. Phil will make a video with like anybody as long as they're like, you know, something that'll get people to tune in. Sure, yeah, that's true. It do be true-y.
Sensationalism. Like the video if you enjoyed the bimbo ops and subscribe with the notification bell on. If you'd like to see more videos in the future, consider donating on my Patreon. Or you can buy some soap to wash your ass. Thanks for watching the video. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
I know I'm probably just a guy on the internet to you, but I've attached some photos. Oh boy, has he ever attached some photos.
Oh boy. Oh boy, those photos are real. And he attached them. He attached those photos. All right, well, you know, good video. That was definitely weird. Definitely embarrassing for Rollo Tomassi, Rollo Tony Tomassi Town.